so this is another deck profile. I'd like to say this deck is kind of a work in progress. It's pretty basic because this deck was a structure deck. It's the Mass Saiyan structure deck where it was originally green and black, but I changed it to green and blue. So if anything, this is a work in progress because it's pretty basic. So as you know, blue in Dragon Ball is based around like regaining energy and all that. So I tried to make it around regaining energy so that I can summon out more of the black colored cards and get the pretty much the combos off. But let's just get this over with. So the leader card is the Mass Saiyan, where it's a milling leader card where you place 3 cards from the top of your deck into the drop area. And if you send a black card, it gains critical, and if you send another card of a different color, it gains +5. So it becomes a 15k crit if you can get that off on its normal side. And when you awaken, which is life 4 or less, I can draw 2 cards. So it's a draw card, because this deck wasn't really built around draw. And the awaken side is the same ability, except it becomes a 20k because 15 on the awaken side. So, and the only other addition to this awakening is that it draws a card when it attacks. So yeah, not bad. Let's start off with the blue because there's not a lot. Let's get the blue out of the way. It's gonna be two Gotens, 2 Trunks, both skillless, and 3 Super Saiyan Son Gokus, skillless, and 3 Super Saiyan Vegetas, skillless. And I'll get into why I have them like that, because this deck has cards that work with skillless battle cards. So yeah, I run 3 of them, 3 Super Saiyan Vegetas, 3 Super Saiyan Son Gokus, 2 Trunks, 2 Goten. And then the next blue is going to be Majin Defier West Supreme Kai. She's pretty much here for energy, because you can use her as energy in the battle area, and she's only a 2-drop, so she's just there for extra energy. So you pretty much have 3 free energy in the battle area. And then here's the first negate of the deck, because we are starting off with the blue side. It is Whis' Coercion. Again, it's based around, you know, keeping your energy, regaining energy. So this negate lets you switch an energy back to active mode. So you'd pretty much switch the energy you use to activate it back to active mode. That's the first negate. And now on to the rest of the deck, which is all black cards. To start off, we have the Dimension Support Trunks, which is one of the cards I run skillless battle cards. This is also, I forgot to mention, this is also the deck that like has the overrun mechanic. I kind of talked about it with the Mass Saiyan, where you have to put cards in your drop area from the top of your deck, but overrun works by sending cards from your drop area to the warp. So this card says overrun 3, so you would need to send 3 cards, or you would need to have at least 3 cards in your drop area to send to the warp, and then you can summon them out. The thing about overrun is it's very complicated because it says overwhelm 3, which means you need 3 cards in your drop area to send to your warp, but like when you overwhelm, you have to send every card in your drop area to the warp, which is kind of confusing and complicated to explain or like understand. So like you can activate this overwhelm ability if there are 3 cards in your drop area, but that also means you have to send all the cards to the drop area. So like, say you have 5 in your drop area, you can activate this overwhelm, but then you have to send all 5 to the warp. So this deck's really about milling. Like you really, like by like turn 4 or 5, you probably are like 3/4 done with your deck. But let's get into the cards. So this Dimension Support Trunks, you have to pay 1 to actually activate his overwhelm. And when you play his overwhelm, you can search for a 2 energy skillless battle card from your deck and play it, and it gains critical. So that is why, this is one of the reasons why I run this many skillless cards. It's also because you can play them as energy as well, in case, you know, you get them and you don't really need to summon them. But I don't really see the reason to use them as much, like energy wise. Sorry, I should have explained that better. Like I'd probably be using Goten and Trunks for energy more than the Super Saiyan Son Goku and Vegeta, because the Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta are 20 drops while the Trunks and Goten are 15 drops. But I also like having a higher chance at being able to summon out a free card. So that's why I run like 10 skillless battle cards to get one of these off. So heck, if you can get all 3, that's 3 free battle cards. So yeah, free 2-drop energy from your deck, gains critical. And then here's another card on why I run skillless battle cards. This is Aid or Aid. It's a negate, 1 drop. It's a black card. And if my leader card is black, which it is, the Mass Saiyan is a black leader card, I can negate the attack and choose 1 skillless battle card from my drop area or warp and add it to your hand. So another reason to have skillless battle cards. So negate an attack, get a free card to your hand from either drop area or warp. Because again, the leader card is milling. You're putting cards from the top of your deck to the drop area, and then Overwhelm is sending stuff to the warp. So then here's the other negate. So I run 3 negates. Here's the third one. It's called Time's Judgment. Negate the attack, place a card in the drop area, add this card back to your hand. Pretty simple. Helps you get cards in the drop area, so you can use Overwhelm and you get a negate back in your hand. So here's the first card that has Xeno Evolve. Xeno Evolve is a special type of evolve where you send the specific battle card to the warp from your battle area. It's not like the normal evolve where you place it over the original card. So it has double strike, and when this card evolves into this card, I can choose up to 1 battle card in my warp with an energy cost 3 or less and play it. So when you Xeno Evolve, you get a free 3 drop from your warp. And I'll go into more detail. I'm just trying to do the cards quickly so I can go into detail of the combos later. Here's the 4 drop Mass Saiyan. He has 2 permanents where this card, like the first one is it can attack battle cards in active mode, and the second one is that it becomes a 3 energy if you have 7 cards on your warp. So, you know, by like turn 2, you would probably have like enough cards to make it a 3 energy. Turn 3, turn 2. Depends on if you go second. So, because if you go second, then you could do it on the turn 3 if you wanted to summon it out for a 3 energy, because you'd have 3 cards in your warp by then, or 7 cards in your warp by then. Then the first mirror I run is Relentless Destruction Mirror. I run 3 of him. He's also another one where you can send stuff to the warp and Overwhelm summon him. He's just here to make your opponent discard a card when you summon him using Overwhelm. So he's just a way to get your enemy to lessen the cards in his hand. It's only 1 card, and your opponent chooses it, not you. I run 2 of these, the Power Aura Mirrors, because you really only need to run 2 because these cards are a tank. It's like a tanky card. It's another card with Overwhelm on it, but you don't ever want to Overwhelm this guy. You want to try and raw summon him if you can, because his permanent is that if I have 8 cards in my warp, this card gains like plus 10k, so it becomes a 25k like striker. So it's not bad. If you do have him in your warp, or if you do Overwhelm summon him, then he goes into your warp, because Overwhelm summoning, I don't know if I explained it, Overwhelm summoning at the end of your turn, if you Overwhelm summon the card, it has to go to your warp. So if he is in your warp, there is a card in this deck that I will get to and explain to. If he is in your warp, you want to bring him back, because he's a 25k card. He's like the main boss monster of this deck because of the 25k. He's the one with the most attack. So here's the next Trunks, Unrelenting Assault Trunks, another Overwhelm card. This card's like a floater where you can pretty much keep summoning him out and have him on the field. When this card is sent to the warp from the battle area or deck, add it to your hands. Like, this is the Trunks you want to keep like summoning using Overwhelm, or you want to Xeno Evolve. You want to use this Trunk to Xeno Evolve into, which is the other sword, the Killer Sword Trunks card that I showed off earlier. So you want to Xeno Evolve from this card after you attack with it. So you pretty much get 2 attacks. So yeah, you want to like Overwhelm summon him a lot, or like Xeno Evolve into that Trunks. Then this is the super combo of the deck, Supreme Kai of Time. This super combo works with the amount of cards in your warp. You need 5 cards in your warp to have the super combo activated, which you'll have enough cards in your warp by like turn 2, because again, Mass Saiyan makes you drop 3 from your deck to your drop area. So that's 2 turns, that's like 6 cards in your drop area already. Then here's the 1 drop of the deck. It is Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan. This guy is gonna help you get it's gonna pretty much help your leader awaken sooner, because when this guy attacks, you can strike yourself and it gains 10,000 power for the turn, so it becomes a 15k striker, and you get a card from your life. And his second ability is very situational because you don't really see a lot of people running skillless battle cards, because the second auto is when your opponent plays a battle card with 15,000 power or less using a non-keyword skill, your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and places in the drop area. So it does have an ability where it makes your opponent drop 2 cards, but like that's only if the battle card they summon out is 15,000 power or less and it has no keyword skills in it. So it's really situational. It's just mostly here for the striking plus 10k. So like, let's say if your opponent never attacks you for 4 turns, you can like summon on turn 4 if you wanted to, just by yourself. But like, that's a what if, and that's a stupid what if. I can't believe I used that, but yeah. So here's the main card. It's an extra card. It's called Dark Plot. I run 3 of these because you really only need 3. I mean, 4 would be good, but you really only need 3 because this card is really, really good because it works with the overwhelm mechanic. And since half of this, like 3/4 of this deck has overwhelm in it, it's, oh no, I would say half. It's not 3/4 because the other half is blue. So like a half of the deck has overwhelm in it. So this card lets you choose 1 battle card in your warp with an energy cost of 4 or less and play it. If you use this skill to play a battle card with overwhelm in it, choose up to 3 energy and switch them to active mode. So you would pay 4 for this, find a card in your warp with overwhelm, and get 3 back. So you technically only paid 1 for this card. It's not bad. So with this card, you would want to like bring out either, like, let's say you'd want to probably bring out this Power Aura Mirror if it's in your warp, because you get 3 energy back and you get a 25 K striker on the field. You can bring back this mirror if you want, because it also has overwhelm, and when you play this card, your opponent has to drop a card from their hand. You can bring out this Mass Saiyan if you want, so you can keep attacking battle cards in active mode, but it doesn't have overwhelm. It's just another way to bring them back. You can bring back this Killer Sword Trunks. You can bring back one of the Dimension Support Trunks, either with the skillless battle cards. You can bring back this Majin Defier if you wanted to get an energy on your field. Like, this card can work with any card in the deck. It's just that it also has a plus if you bring back a card with overwhelm on it. So it's not bad, because technically you're only playing 1 energy if you get a card with overwhelm. So that's pretty much how this deck works. You pretty much want to have a lot of energy, or have enough energy and use the effect of the blue cards to regain energy. But I don't really have blue cards that regain energy besides the Negate and the Majin Defier, because the rest of the blue cards are skills battle cards. So the most you're going to be doing with blue energy in this deck, like by charging it, like charge wise, you probably only have about like 2 to 3 blue energies in your energy or your charge area. That's pretty much it, because again, there's not a lot of blues in here to begin with, and you need 2 blues to bring out this Majin Defier. So that's why I said either 2 to 3, because you're not raw summoning these guys. You're using the effect of Dimension Support Trunks to bring out the skillless battle cards. So if anything, you're charging one of the 2 skillless battle cards to get the Majin Defier out, to get extra energy. Then you're using Dark Plot to get stuff from your warp, to get back energy, and also have stuff on the field. You're using the negates to bring cards to you're using one of the negates to bring a card to your hand, using the other negate to put stuff in your drop area so you can overwhelm. It's not as good as it sounds. It's just I found cards that can work with each other in a small way that fits the build of the deck, where it's based around energy. So that's pretty much it for this deck profile. I do plan on working on it more to where I could probably have like Gogeta and like Gotenk stuff in here, because I do have Goten and Trunks in here, and I do have Goku and Vegeta in here as the skillless battle cards. So that's just the deck profile for this one. Pretty basic, pretty easy to build, because again, most of the cards in here are from the structure deck. I think, yeah, the Dark Plot's from the structure deck, Power Aura Mirror, the Super Combo, this Unrelenting Assault Trunks, this Mass Saiyan, Killer Sword Trunks, and the Time's Judgment. So yeah, I'd like to say a 1/4 of the deck is from the structure deck. So yeah, this deck's pretty easy to build if you can buy the deck and then like get the other cards I have in here, and then you can have like a pretty basic black and blue energy deck where it's based around the new overall mechanic. So Yeah, thanks for watching, and whenever I make another video, who knows.